You know that moment. You're in a coffee shop, a bookstore, a party, maybe just standing in line somewhere ordinary. And then something shifts. Not loudly, not enough to call it obvious, but enough to feel it. You glance up and she's already looking. Then she looks away. A few seconds later, somehow, she's nearby again. Her friend is talking, music is playing, people are moving, and still there's this strange little current between you that neither of you is naming. And now your whole inner world kicks in. Am I making this up? If I go over there, am I going to look stupid? If I don't, am I about to miss something real? Why does this always feel so unclear? Here's the truth most people never get told. A woman usually doesn't make attraction obvious first. She makes it possible first. Not a giant green light, not a movie scene, not some dramatic signal you could frame, but small openings, repeated openings, tiny moments that say, you can come closer if you know how to read this. And you need to hear this, man. You're not weird for struggling with that. You're not behind, you're not failing at dating. A lot of good people miss real connection simply because they were taught to look for certainty when attraction usually shows up as subtlety. So in this video, I'm going to show you 10 hidden signs a woman wants you to approach her. And more importantly, how to tell the difference between genuine openness and simple politeness, so you can stop second-guessing yourself and start moving with more calm, more respect, and a lot more confidence. Let's get into it. Mindset reframe. Most people think attraction is about boldness. They think if a woman likes you, she'll make it painfully obvious. She'll flirt hard, she'll force the moment. She'll basically do everything except walk over and hand you a script. But the real truth is deeper than that. Attraction usually starts in the nervous system long before it becomes words. A woman's mind might still be deciding what she thinks of you, but her nervous system is already answering a different question. Do I feel safe enough to stay open here? That matters a lot. Because when a woman wants to be approached, what she often shows first is not pure desire. It's receptivity, presence, a softening, a willingness to make connection easier instead of harder. And here's what nobody explains. Not every woman who wants you to approach becomes loud. Some get quieter, some get softer, some become more aware of you without becoming more dramatic. Because interest doesn't always look like performance. Sometimes it looks like availability. Sometimes it looks like her leaving the emotional door cracked open instead of shut. This is why so many men misread the room. They look for a spotlight. They miss the lantern. They think if she's not broadcasting, she's not interested. But a lot of women are not trying to put on a show. They're watching, feeling, checking your energy, seeing if you look grounded, emotionally available, and socially aware enough to approach without making her regret it. So this is not about decoding women. It's not a trick, not a hack, not manipulation. It's learning to notice when someone is turning toward connection in small, human ways. And once you understand that, bro, you stop chasing random signs and start reading the emotional tone beneath the surface. That changes everything. Sign number 1. She keeps reappearing in your orbit. Here's the part no one talks about. One of the clearest signs a woman wants you to approach her is simple. She keeps finding a reason to be where you are. Most people miss this because they're waiting for one huge signal instead of noticing repeated proximity. But repeated proximity is rarely random when someone has other options. If she keeps drifting into your line of sight, standing near your side of the room, or choosing the space around you more than once, that matters. The deeper truth is that attraction often shows up as managed closeness. She may not feel ready to start the interaction herself, but she feels comfortable enough to keep the possibility alive. Her nervous system is saying, I'm not pulling away from this, I'm staying near it. That is a very different energy from polite indifference. One closes space, the other protects it. You'll feel the difference in real life. The disconnecting version is this. She walks near you twice, ends up beside you at the counter, then pauses near the napkins, and you tell yourself, nah, probably means nothing, while standing there frozen and overthinking. The connecting version is lighter. You smile and say, I feel like we've ended up in the same 3-foot radius 3 times now. I'm your name, by the way. That kind of approach works because it meets the moment instead of forcing one. And when you do that, the tension turns into something warmer, like two strangers quietly admitting they both felt the same pull. Sign number 2. The eye contact doesn't just happen, it returns. This is where it gets really interesting. A single glance means almost nothing, but eye contact that comes back is different. That's the sign. Most people treat attraction like a snapshot, when it's usually a pattern. One accidental look is life happening. 2 or 3 deliberate looks, especially with a pause, a softness, or a quick smile, is often interest testing the water. Most future couples, honestly, start with exactly this kind of unspoken moment. The psychological truth is that the eyes are often the safest place to flirt before words exist. If she looks away, and then looks back again, her nervous system is not just noticing you, it's rechecking you, re-entering the moment, quietly asking, is he going to catch this? Is he safe to meet here? Attraction can feel like a door opening 1 inch at a time. The disconnecting version sounds like this inside your head. Don't be weird. Don't read into it. Just ignore it. So you avoid her gaze entirely, and the moment dies in silence. The connecting version is simple. You hold eye contact for a beat, give a calm smile, and let your face say, I see you too. If she softens or holds the moment instead of shutting it down, that's your opening. Not more staring, not intensity, not performance, just presence. And when you meet that kind of eye contact well, the space between you starts to feel less like a crowd and more like a conversation that hasn't started yet. Sign number 3, her face softens when you're near. A lot of men miss this one, because they're looking for words when the body is already speaking. A woman who wants you to approach will often look more relaxed, brighter, or more aware the second you come near. Maybe her expression softens. Maybe she suddenly looks more alive. Maybe her smile comes out faster than the situation technically requires. It's subtle, but it's real. Most people think attraction is about trying to impress, but the deeper truth is that real interest often looks like the nervous system shifting from guarded to open. She feels your presence and something in her loosens. Her face says what her mouth hasn't said yet. Okay, I'm open to this. That softening matters because people rarely become warmer around someone they want to avoid. You'll see it in little moments. The disconnecting version, you walk past, she brightens, glances up, adjusts her posture, and you still tell yourself, she's probably just being nice. The connecting version, you notice the warmth and you respond in kind. Hey, you look like you know whether the coffee here is actually good or not. Light, human, easy. This isn't a pickup move. This is what socially aware people do when someone's energy becomes more welcoming in their presence. And when you respond to that softness without crowding it, she stops feeling like she has to protect the moment and starts feeling safe enough to enjoy it. Sign number 4. She creates a tiny opening for you to step into. And this is the one most people never figure out. Sometimes a woman does not signal with her eyes or body first. She signals by giving you a small conversational bridge, a comment, a question, a playful observation, something so low stakes you could miss it if you were expecting a dramatic flirt. Most people wait for obvious interest and miss these tiny bids for connection, but a lot of women are not trying to carry the whole interaction. They're just making it easier for you to carry your half. That's the signal. She isn't doing everything. She's making room for something to happen. Beneath the surface, this is about emotional risk. She may not want to overexpose herself, but she also doesn't want the moment to die. So she gives you a thread. Long line today. Have you been here before? That drink any good? Her inner voice may be saying, I'm giving you something. Please know what to do with it. The disconnecting version is you answering like it's customer service. Yeah, pretty long. End scene. The connecting version is you treating the bid like what it is. Way too long. We've basically been through something together now. Or, I have been here before, but now I feel pressure to give you the right answer. That's not a trick. That's turning toward her. And when you know how to meet a small opening with warmth instead of caution, the whole interaction starts feeling less like work and more like mutual momentum. Sign number 5. She lingers when she could easily leave. Here's what changes everything. Interest is not only about how someone enters a moment. It's also about whether they keep staying in it. If a woman wants you to approach her, she often doesn't rush to close the window. She lingers. She slows down. She takes an extra second at the register. She hangs around after the obvious reason to be there has passed. She doesn't sprint away from the possibility. Most people misunderstand this because they focus on words while ignoring pacing. But pacing tells the truth. If she could leave cleanly and doesn't, that often means she's making room for connection to happen naturally. Her nervous system is saying, I'm not in a hurry to escape this. That is a powerful sign. Think about the contrast. The disconnecting version is she picks up her drink, but instead of walking off immediately, she looks around, stays close, maybe checks her phone without really checking it. And you still freeze because you're waiting for something more obvious. The connecting version is you using the space she created. I was going to let you leave in peace, but now I feel like I should at least say hi. That line works because it honors reality. It feels grounded, real, human, not forcing, not cornering, not trying too hard. just meeting her where the moment already is. And when you do that, what could have become another missed chance starts feeling like two people quietly choosing not to let the door close. Sign number 6. Her body language stays open instead of shut down. Now let's go beneath the surface. A woman who wants you to approach usually looks physically available to interaction, not in a performative way, in a receptive way. Her body stays open. She angles toward you. She doesn't turn her shoulders away. Her arms aren't barricading her. Her feet keep pointing back into the moment instead of toward the exit. Most people make the mistake of reducing body language to internet cliches. But real body language is less about memorizing gestures and more about reading whether someone's nervous system is bracing or relaxing. Open body language often means, I don't feel the need to protect myself from this interaction before it even starts. Closed body language often means the opposite. That's why this matters. And here's the triple truth. Not every smile is interest. Not every quiet woman is disinterest. Not every open posture is an invitation by itself. But when open posture shows up with eye contact, proximity, or lingering, now you're looking at a pattern instead of a random detail. The disconnecting version. You notice she's angled toward you, head up, arms relaxed. But you approach with too much force and blow past the tone of the moment. The connecting version. You match the openness with calm energy. Hey, I'm taking a risk here, but you seem like someone worth talking to. Simple, respectful, clear. That's the shift. And when your approach matches the openness she's already offering, she feels less like she has to brace for impact and more like she can stay in her natural warmth. Sign number 7. Her friends start clocking you too. Man, this one is huge. Sometimes the sign is not just her, it's the social ecosystem around her. If she's with friends and they keep glancing at you, smiling, nudging her, making space, or suddenly drifting elsewhere for no obvious reason, pay attention. A lot of women process attraction socially before acting on it directly. Her friends often know before you do. Most people think attraction happens in isolation. But in real life, especially in social settings, women often regulate risk and comfort through the people around them. If her friends are relaxed, amused, or subtly helping, that usually means she has already communicated interest on some level. Maybe not with words, but enough that the group energy has shifted. Somewhere beneath the surface, she may have already said with a look, yeah, maybe him. The contrast is easy to spot. The disconnecting version is her friend smiles at you, then at her, then suddenly leaves a gap beside her, and you still tell yourself, no way bro, I'm probably imagining it. The connecting version is you reading the room and stepping in lightly. I feel like your friends just put me in the game, so I should probably introduce myself. That usually lands because it's playful and self-aware. It shows presence. It shows social intelligence. It shows you can read tone without acting entitled to anything. And when you approach a woman in a way that respects the social energy around her, the whole interaction feels safer, smoother, and a lot more naturally connected. Sign number 8. She gives you small green lights during micro-interactions. This is the subtle stuff, and honestly, it matters more than flashy flirting. A woman who wants you to approach often gives small green lights in tiny moments most people overlook. She laughs a little longer than necessary. She answers warmly when she didn't need to. She keeps the exchange alive instead of letting it die. She asks something back. She gives energy back. Most people treat these micro-interactions like background noise, but this is often where attraction first becomes real. Because attraction is not built in giant moments, it's built in 30-second moments. Like sparks catching dry wood. A quick exchange becomes a warmer one. A polite reply becomes presence. And her inner experience may quietly be, he feels easy. I'd keep talking if he came over. The disconnecting version sounds like this. You. Sorry, is this seat taken? Her. No, go ahead. You sit down and never speak again. The connecting version sounds like this. You. Sorry, is this seat taken? Her. No, go ahead. You. Appreciate it. Also, this may be random, but you seem unusually calm for someone in this chaotic place. Why does that work? Because she already gave you a tiny green light by responding with warmth instead of shutting the door. You just noticed it. And when you learn to read those little moments correctly, dating stops feeling like guessing in the dark and starts feeling like responding to what's already there. Sign number 9. She mirrors your energy more than she has to. Here's the part that feels almost invisible until you know to look for it. A woman who wants you to approach will often start subtly matching your energy. If you smile, she smiles back with a similar warmth. If you speak casually, she answers casually. If you slow the moment down, she slows with you. She's not just reacting, she's syncing. Most people miss mirroring because it doesn't look dramatic. But psychologically, mirroring is one of the oldest signs of comfort and connection we have. Humans mirror when they feel safe enough to join someone's emotional rhythm. It's the nervous system's way of saying, I can meet you here. Not perfectly, not mechanically, but enough to create a shared tone. You see it in the difference immediately. The disconnecting version is you offer a small smile and soft comment. She matches it, and you still go robotic because you don't trust what you're seeing. The connecting version is you noticing the sync and building gently. Okay, now I feel like we're both pretending this isn't a conversation already. That line works because it names the unspoken without making it heavy. It lets the tension breathe. This isn't about copying techniques. This is about recognizing when connection is already becoming mutual. And when you respond to mirroring with steady presence, the interaction stops feeling one-sided and starts feeling like both of you are quietly building the same moment together. Sign number 10. She makes it easier to continue, not harder to stop. And this is the one that ties everything together. At the end of the day, the clearest sign a woman wants you to approach is not that she overwhelms you with signals. It's that once a small interaction begins, she helps it keep going. She doesn't make you drag the conversation uphill alone. She contributes. She stays. She asks. She smiles. She gives you something to work with. Most people get stuck chasing the fantasy of certainty, but real interest usually feels like lowered resistance. Not no resistance, lowered resistance. Because if she's open to you, she'll often make the interaction feel lighter instead of heavier. Her unspoken thought becomes, I'm not making this hard on purpose. I'm with you in it. The contrast is everything. The disconnecting version. You say hi, she gives one-word answers, scans the room, turns away, and you keep pushing because you're hoping effort will create chemistry. It won't. The connecting version. You say hi, she answers fully, looks back at you, asks your name, adds something playful, and now the moment has air in it. That's your sign to keep going. Not because she owes you anything. Not because a sign is a contract. Not because interest guarantees outcome. But because openness deserves a calm response. And disinterest deserves respect. That's what mature dating looks like. And when you understand that, women stop feeling impossible to read, and connection starts feeling less like a performance and more like something two people are allowed to build together. Close and call to action. So no, this is not about learning some magic formula. It's deeper than that. This is about becoming the kind of man who can feel the difference between politeness and openness, between forcing and responding, between chasing attention and recognizing real connection when it quietly appears in front of him. When you internalize this, you stop moving from panic. You stop trying to win the moment. You start bringing presence, calibration, and emotional steadiness into it. And she feels that before you've even said much. And that matters. Because the men who create real connection are usually not the loudest men in the room. They're the ones who know how to notice, how to respect the energy in front of them, and how to step forward without making someone feel cornered. That's not a dating trick. That's emotional maturity. That's social intelligence. That's what becoming more grounded actually looks like. So if you take anything from this video, let it be this. A woman who wants you to approach usually won't force the moment. She'll soften it, open it, and leave it there for you to meet. And your job is not to assume. Your job is to notice, to stay calm, to stay respectful, to move when the energy is open, and to let go when it's not. Because real confidence is not pushing harder. It's knowing how to recognize connection when it's quietly turning toward you. If this video helped you see that more clearly, drop a comment with the sign you think most guys miss. And if you want more honest, psychologically real videos on attraction, dating, and emotional connection, make sure you subscribe. Because love gets a lot easier when you finally learn to read what's been there all along.